As far as the Afcon is concerned, welcome back to News Today.
Ngiyabonga, ma'am.
Afcon, I mean, the Pharaohs of Egypt simply could not keep up with the young Cameroonian team yesterday.
What a story, Pearl. What a story.
A great piece of history.
Yeah. A good story to tell in terms of Cameroon. In as far as they are concerned, they are just a youthful, inexperienced team. Like the last package just alluded that 10 players, experienced players from Cameroon, they just turned down a call-up to represent their country in this tournament. So then the coach went for the inexperienced players who were hungry for success, who were hungry to play for their badge and for their flag. So they've delivered. They delivered against all odds. No one was expecting Cameroon to go this far in the tournament, to even reach the knockout stages. It was kind of a miracle for such a team of unknowns. Let me just tell you about their number 9. They depended on one striker. That was Michael Dintembe. That boy was just something else. Dintembe was not known even by the Cameroonians because the coach identified him overseas and said, "Oh, you are a Cameroonian. I'm taking you with me back home. You're going to represent your country in Cameroon." There he was. Now he has a gold medal for his team.
Fantastic. I'm going to talk to you about some of the players that you think were key in this tournament. But for now, let's talk about the Pharaohs of Egypt. I mean, they're definitely the most successful of the two sides, having last won the continental title in 2010. When you look at Cameroon, the last time they'd got it was 2002. What made the difference for the Cameroonian team in the final?
In this final, what I can say, not only in the final, from group stages, Cameroon team were hungry. They came here prepared. I think mentally the players were prepared to just go to war for their country. And under the leadership of their young captain, that is Benjamin Mukanjo, he was the best player of the tournament, by the way. Benjamin Mukanjo was just leading by example in the field of play. He's the one who was spearheading their attacks now and again. I was watching them in the quarterfinals. They were just so unbelievable. Going on to the semis, they were just a team to be against Ghana. Everyone maybe there was rooting for Ghana just because they had stars like the Ayew brothers and their captain in Asamoah Gyan. But whereas when you go to Cameroon, look at Cameroon team, there are no stars. They are just a team playing for each other and playing for the coach as well. Because the coach coming to this tournament, the Cameroonian coach was criticized for choosing a youthful team and inexperienced team. But I have to add that their goalkeeper Fabrice Ondoa came to the party and he saved them now and again in this tournament. He did a very good job, that young boy. By the way, he's only 21 years of age. 21 years of age.
What a difference from some of the other players that we saw in this tournament, which actually shone. We look at the Egyptian goalkeeper, who's also one of the key players in this tournament. And then we talk about Benjamin that you mentioned earlier on. But from the other teams as well, who were some of the standout players that when you looked at some of the games, you thought, man, they've got something special?
I'll go and just pick up Sam El Hadri. That 44-year-old came to the party after. And by the way,
he keeps him going after so long. Age is certainly not on his side.
He came into this tournament as the second choice goalkeeper for the Egyptians, but their first choice unfortunately got injured in their first match and had to come in, and he just took between the sticks and then like a fish to water. He was just there. He was the difference between success and his team. But they were so unfortunate in the final. I won't say but unfortunate per se, because the Cameroonian team, they were so eager, they were so keen to succeed, and they were fighting for their coach, because journalists back home in Cameroon were calling for the coach's head for picking up such a youthful and inexperienced team. But look now, who are the champions? Now Cameroon have 5 titles. They are bridging the gap between themselves and the Pharaohs. The Pharaohs are the most successful team when it comes to Afcon here in Africa. They've got 7 continental titles, whereas Cameroon now are the second best with 5, and then Ghana with 4. We all know what happened to Ghana. They've been always playing for number 3 in the last 3 tournaments, Ghana, but it wasn't happening for them. It didn't happen for them even on Saturday. Yes, because they went 1-0 down to Burkina Faso on Saturday.
Absolutely. Mduduzi, your overall impressions of the tournament. I think for me personally, things really started to heat up towards the quarterfinals, but before then, maybe not so much. What are your impressions and the standard of play in Africa?
It wasn't, the tournament at the beginning wasn't that catchy. People were not even talking about it. They were like, oh, by the way, there's a Afcon, that's why we don't have ABSA Premiership matches. What's happening? But there wasn't that buzz about the tournament per se. But when it reached the quarterfinal, that is the knockout stages, that's when we started to see the best of the best. That's when we saw the likes of Senegal being disappointed. As the #1 ranked team in Africa, Senegal were expected to go all the way with the star-studded side that they are, with the likes of your Sadio Mane. We all know what happened to Sadio Mane. He missed his penalty. That eventually was the result for his team to be knocked out of these tournaments in the quarterfinal stages. By the way, they were also knocked out by these very same champions, Cameroon. It was the very same goalkeeper I was talking about, the 21-year-old who was raised by Barcelona. That is Fabrice Ondoa. He's been fantastic, that young man. I'm also, I don't believe that he's playing second fiddle in Sevilla. He's a star goalkeeper for me.
Star goalkeeper. That is where I'll have to leave it with you, Mduduzi, chatting all things Afcon. Of course, the tournament has come to an end, and as we've just heard, I mean, Cameroon simply doing the business there with their young team.